Don't put me on the spot. Fucking guy, man. I sneak you into my alma mater. We're sitting here with, this is like a championship football. They didn't even inflate this thing. All right,
Love it. Hey, so if you don't know already, we are donating up to $2,000 to the Ronald McDonald House of Long Island, which is a charity that serves underprivileged communities, families with sick and injured children who don't have access to the resources to provide the proper medical care for their families. And the way that you can help in raising that amount is for each comment that you leave, we will be donating $5. And for each share that this video receives, we will be donating $10 with no limits to the amount of comments or shares that you can leave. All we ask is that you spread the word of this video and we will take care of the rest. Thank you so much and enjoy. All right, so hey, welcome everybody. I have a very special guest joining us today. My client, Danny Burns, who's a member in the Fit Body program, who's lost 25 pounds in 90 days and has gotten an incredible set of abs and an overall amazing body composition. So, Danny, thank you so much for joining us here today in person.
Thank you. You have me blushing, but thank you. And it's pretty cool also being here at the school I went to college at. Wagner has some great memories for me, and it's really cool to be doing this interview here. So thank you.
Absolutely, my man. So why don't we get started like this? Why don't you share with everybody a little bit more about who you are and where you were before the Fit Body program and before us joining and meeting together?
Sure. So obviously, you know, we're in a point this year in 2021 that we're coming out of COVID a little bit, and with that, a lot of us probably could say that some of our fitness levels have maybe dropped, or maybe some bad habits have crept in, and a lot of us are feeling it. When I'm not in shape, I definitely feel lethargic. I do not have the same energy. I probably do not perform at my best when it comes to work, and even just being at home, when it comes to being a father and being a husband. These are the things that are most important to me, more than anything else, and I'm not my best when I'm not my best. My man. And what made you decide to have a coach in your corner during this time of COVID? So, you know, I guess I became aware of you back during the summertime. You helped out someone that was an administrator at my former high school, Zavarian. We're both alumni, and
Go
his
Clippers!
nickname, yeah, go Clippers. His name is Mac for short, and he had amazing results with you. And I remember Mac always being a big guy and always having a presence. He probably still has a presence. He used to make me nervous. But with that, Mac was always a good guy, and he had a good heart. And he really looked out for the kids there. And I saw him literally drop a ton of weight and change probably the future of his life. He will live longer, he will live happier, and he will do everything that he's doing better. So I saw that, and I decided to follow you. And you might even reached out to me, but I ignored you for at least 2 months, if not 3. I'll be honest. But then finally, you put something up there that resonated with me. You were calling out, you wanted 2 dads that wanted washboard abs by Christmas. And I said, okay, I can do that. And I reached out.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was great. You did respond to me, unlike maybe me responding to you prior. And we had our call, and I remember you telling me the program and just going over, and I really thought it was fairly simple and easy to follow, and I liked that. But at the end of the call, you sort of asked me, you said, so are you okay with all this? And I remember telling you, yeah, it's done. And you were like, what do you mean? I said, the fact that we're talking right now, it means this is done. So whatever we got to do, and we'll have a six-pack by Christmas. And it's getting there. It's really getting there.
You got a six-pack within the first month.
Not exactly. Yeah, there's a little bit more to go, but we'll be there in time. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And what has the Fit Body program provided for you, not only with fitness, but maybe even with your career, your business, and your family?
So what I've seen, and my wife would probably vouch for this, number one, even more energy. I've always been a person that had a good amount of energy, obviously. With that said, that's even enhanced. My wife probably wants me to chill, but with that energy has come a lot of results, actually. My business is in its best year ever, and that's coming off of its best year ever. So we've grown even more. I have a lot of goals for next year. There are a lot of charitable events that I want to take part in next year and maybe really support. So there's a lot of good things for the future, and I really feel like being healthy is allowing my mind to work better. So it's not just my body now working better, it's my mind, and it's resulting as far as my performance.
Right. And you and I were talking before we got on camera about the performance coach that one of the racers had. And why don't you share a little bit about that and why it's important to have a coach in your corner and what that provides for you?
So I believe when it comes to anything, if you're going to be the best at something, it comes down to a couple of things. It comes down to who you surround yourself with, and then who you have guiding you and coaching you through it. A proper coach in any business, in any industry, they are going to get you over the humps. They're going to get you through the plateaus, and they're going to help you be accountable to reach whatever goals you have, right? So we were talking about Lewis Hamilton, who is, some say, the greatest F1 racer ever. And one thing I noticed, they came out with this Netflix series. It was probably about 3 years ago, and it was all about F1 racing. And to be honest, I never watched F1, but I started watching this series, and what was amazing about it is you were able to now learn a little bit about what goes on behind the scenes and what goes into these guys. There's only 20 of them that are the best F1 racers in the world, and there's only 20 seats. So you got to see what goes into their day-to-day regimens and their daily habits, their rituals. And Lewis Hamilton, who, again, some say is the best, he was the only one that I saw on there utilizing a performance coach. And there's literally a clip, I'm not sure if it was season 1, season 2, but there's a clip, and he's driving his regular car, which I'm sure is still fast. But he's driving a regular sedan, and his performance coach is next to him, and she's having him visualize the track that he's going to be racing. She's having him look into the corners, into when he's going to turn, into imagining when he's going to pass someone and how he's going to go about it. And sure enough, that race, he won it. And I was like, this is the only guy investing in himself. So to me, I don't know, some people, they're not willing to invest in themselves. To me, I think cheap is expensive.
Wow, that's like a mic drop moment. Cheap is expensive, yeah.
Maybe I should have saved that one.
Why don't you share with me, when was the last time, because when we first spoke on the phone, you were speaking about a roommate that you lived with, and you would kind of bounce ideas off of him, you would send him menus, and he kind of kept you on track with the way he was eating. And that was like that was the last time you were in the best shape of your life. And why don't you talk to me a little bit about that, because we did mention a little bit about getting back to that.
Yeah. So I would say I was very fortunate. I was just about 30 years old. I had just become single. I was newly single on the market. And I was working with a young man who was definitely into fitness and into working out. And he approached me one day and he's like, hey Dan, I was actually looking for a place down in Long Beach. And I was like, I don't really know anything about Long Beach. And he said, well, the places down there, they're really nice, and it's right by the beach, and it's a really cool town. And I don't know if you're interested, but I'm going to see a place, and it's a little bit big for me though. It's like a 3-bedroom, so maybe it's a place that you would be interested in sharing. So I was like, all right, bro, I'll take a ride. And we went. And Long Beach, if you know Long Island, it's a little remote. It's very south, but it's beautiful. Honestly, even the ride there is beautiful. And you see the sunset and the water, and in the summertime, it is 100% one of the most special places, I think. So, sure enough, we went to go see this place. It was shortly after Hurricane Sandy. In my mind, I never really thought about living in a place that my house could get hit by a wave. But going there, and I just thought about it, and I said, what are the odds that another wave comes so quick? So we moved to Long Beach, sure enough, me and this kid, and he was really inspirational. What I learned about him is he was also a college athlete. I was a tennis player when I was in college. Well, he was a track and field star, and he still was on top of his body and definitely into nutrition. And he studied. I called him the professor sometimes. He was like a mad scientist, this kid. So I'm living with this young man, and I'm getting to see his routines, and I'm getting to see how much he puts into his health. And I mean, obviously, if he's doing it, I gotta do it. I'm a competitive bastard. So I started just following along, and what I guess I didn't realize at that time, and I will share this young man's name, I will shout him out because I'm super grateful for him. You know, I guess it was the equivalent of like living with a Navy SEAL. So I saw this book on the shelf about this author that lived with a Navy SEAL for 6 months or a year, and the effect it had on his life.
Goggins, that's right.
Exactly. And it raised this guy's standards. You know, so that's the one thing about when guys are in the Marine Corps, and especially when guys or the Navy, and especially when guys make it to those levels of Navy SEALs, of Green Berets. At those points, those are the highest standards that were programmed into them in their lives. And the unfortunate thing is, if they don't stay on top of that, it's gonna go down. So living with this young man, and I'll tell you about it. His name is Corey Berger. I'll shout him out. I think his handle is what is it? It's not coming to me. I am Levitron. That's what it is. I am Levitron. He's on Instagram, and he was a CrossFit athlete. So while I lived with him, I saw this kid literally just start doing CrossFit. And within a year, he was competing with the best in the world. And for 2 years in a row, back to back, he ended up going to the CrossFit Games in California. He was part of a team, and they placed, and they did phenomenal. And I guess the benefit that I had, and hopefully I had a good impression on him as well at times, it was inspirational. It was someone that taught me that my body is the most important thing. It's something that taught me more about, you know, your body is your temple. Well, it really is, you know, and I would see it with him. I would see it when we would go out to eat. He was never cheap about ordering good food. He said to himself, I don't know of a better investment. And he was also never cheap when it came to training. He hired the best trainers. He worked out with the best in the field, and he became one of the best. And to this day, I think he still competes. I know he rides bikes, and he probably does triathlons, and he's a pretty inspirational dude. So Corey Berger, if you're listening, I want to thank you. You had a profound effect on my life, and it was what set the bar for me to work with Ursulon and return to that. So thank you.
Thank you. Wow. What, if anything, maybe almost stopped you from investing into yourself?
So that's a great thing that you bring up. One of the biggest, I think, hesitations that I had when we first spoke, and I made you very aware of this, is I suffered a back injury. And I told you about this injury. It was back in 2016. I was revisiting tennis, and I started playing tennis in Long Island. I mean, I grew up playing tennis. I was in the boroughs. I was in Brooklyn and Staten Island, and then now I was living in Long Island for a while, and I had my business. I was like, sure, I'd love to start playing tennis again, you know. And after living with Levitron, my Navy SEAL, I decided, okay, it was time to start playing tennis. And I did, and I got in this crazy circle of people. I was playing at this club in Long Island, and I told people openly I was the youngest and poorest member of this club. There is no doubt that everybody was older and uber successful. And there was me. So here I am, I'm playing tennis with these great people and these great human beings, and very giving. And I hurt myself. I went down on the court. I remember I hit a serve. I heard a pop, and I went down shortly after, and I never got up again. And I got carried out that day on a stretcher, and I spent 5 days in the hospital. And then I had to learn how to walk again. And it started real slow. It started with like a walker and a cane and all that. And you know, I came a long way since then by the time I had met you, but I was still ultra aware of it. I actually felt like it was still a hindrance or a problem or a potential problem at any time. I was very limited on what I was willing to do. So when we spoke for the first time, I brought up to you, I said, listen, the one thing I'm going to tell you, man, I cannot put that at risk. I have a family, I have a wife, I have a beautiful son, and I cannot be out of commission for that. So whatever we do, promise me you're not going to hurt my back. And you did. And I would say that you've lived up to that promise, and it feels stronger today, I got to tell you, than ever. I mean, part of it probably has to do with the physics of it. Like you could probably tell me about, you know, I lose X amount of weight up here, and that's a lot less weight on my back. But also just the core strength and just being more efficient and my body just working better. I don't feel that pain that I was feeling.
It's just great to hear that your back has made, it's beginning to make a recovery without any sort of invasive procedures.
Yes, and that's really what I was avoiding at all costs. I mean, you know, who wants to get surgery?
Right.
It's surgery. It's cutting you open. It's breaking apart tissues and muscles, and you know, I'm sure you know more about this, especially your brother being a surgeon. So with that, I've literally avoided that at all costs. And anytime I encountered a doctor that was like, yeah, you might need surgery, I'd walk out. That was it. That was the last appointment. Because I believe there's too many resources before that.
Yes.
I believe there's way too many steps before we even go down that road.
100%.
And, you know, I guess I was fortunate enough to find this road, and yeah, it feels a lot better. Like, even right now, we've sat here for probably over an hour. I don't know exactly how long, but I never would have been able to do this. I would have been in immense pain, and I would have been having to stand up and walk around, and I'm still sitting.
Oh, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What would you say has been like the biggest, you know, non-weight loss benefit that you achieved from losing the weight, from revealing the abs?
So pros and cons. I'll get the cons out of the way. So ironically, the timing of this may have been tough for my house, and I'm sure I shared this with you, but right around the time I started with you, it was right around the time my wife got pregnant. So while she is obviously growing our child and maybe expanding a little bit, babe, you look fantastic. At the same time, here comes me, and after a month, I was starting to see some results, and then after 2 months, there was some cuts coming in, and so she might have been pissed about that. That's the con. We'll get that out of the way. But the pros are, I can't say enough. So now that I'm obviously eating and progressing, and I think really in life in general, progression creates happiness. When you see progression in whatever you're doing, that's what makes people happy. So, it definitely has made me happier. I've always been, I think, a happy and go-lucky person, but this has really even enhanced that more. And I've also wanted to pay it forward more. So more than ever, I feel like, I'm not looking to make you blush, but I feel like you've changed my life in a way, and I sort of want to pay that forward. I want to change other people's lives more, and that's what has me thinking more about the more I can grow my business and the more I can get involved in charities and foundations, and so it's just making me think bigger all around, and no doubt, my wife will vouch for this, I think too, I'm better at home, I'm better with my friends, I'm better with my family, I'm better with my son, and hopefully I'm a better husband too.
Well, wow, that was really sweet, man.
Yeah.
I'm sure Linda, your wife, really appreciates that.
Hopefully.
One thing you were mentioning to me about, which kind of helped expand my mind a little bit, is where do you see the Fit Body program? Where do you see this kind of going?
So this is going to be big. I mean, I don't even know how big you dreamt it up, but I think it's going to be bigger than that. I tell people today, I told a friend today actually, I said, if you sign up with him, you get him cheap. There is no doubt in my mind that 2 or 3 years from now, it's going to cost a premium for someone to work with you, because you're going to have a staff that are also maybe certified trainers and nutritionists and coaches, and they're going to be working with the majority of the clientele. I see you transforming a lot of lives, and I actually see you working with some very high level people, much higher than I am at this point in my life. As far as I see you working with top executives, I see you working with CEOs, I see you maybe even working with some athletes and helping them to reach their goals, which is going to pay off tenfold. It's probably going to pay off 100-fold. So whatever that investment is, because they're going to be paying you a lot, they're going to make 100 times more, because their performance and their belief and their courage and their confidence is going to be through the roof. And that's what I foresee for Fit Body.
Wow. Dude, thank you so much. That means a lot to me. It's definitely expanded the mindset for sure.
Cool.
And what would you say to someone that might be on the fence about investing in themselves now and joining the program?
So I guess I wouldn't say anything. I guess I would just ask a question. So what is a better thing to spend your money on? So I get it. You want to consider it a luxury, you want to consider it an expense, you want to say that you're rerouting money from, going out for drinks or, going to Starbucks or eating out. Well, what's more important than your health? And I know at this point in my life, I'm trying to play a much longer game. I didn't always think wow, I want to be, I want to be a grandfather one day. When I was 20 years old, I wasn't thinking about that. But now that I am a little older and I'm a husband and I'm a father and I'm still a friend to a great group of people and I have a great family, I want to stick around for this. So yeah, that means I got to be my best. I have to be able to show up for all the things that are important to me and my family, and I want to feel my best and look my best in the process. And I guess it's working on the dash, right? Isn't that what they say? When you look at the headstone at the cemetery, right? What do you see? You see 2 dates. You see a date someone was born, and you see a date someone died. And everything is the dash. So it's everything right in between. It's not the day I was born, because I don't remember that. I'm probably not going to know much about this state either. But the dash, that's where we are.
Wow, that's so powerful. I love that so much, man. That is so powerful.
All right, so bathroom break.
Yeah.
How'd you end up with the top? How'd that happen?
Something with that.
No, I took care of them. It was my gift to, I definitely wanted to remember this experience, and I am super grateful, obviously. So we wanted to commemorate it. So I actually gave him my tie to wear, and hopefully he wears it with help.
Oh man, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
I love that you said commemorate moments like these, or just big moments, and I feel like when you celebrate, you elevate. So it's so important, and even with your weight loss.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I like that. That's really cool. Dude, I can't thank you enough for today. This was cool. It was cool being in my alma mater. I always have trouble with that word. Wagner College was an awesome experience. I was here from 2000 to 2004. I was fortunate enough to play tennis here, and now I'm fortunate enough to sit here with what I believe is going to be one of the most inspirational people. And I can't thank you enough, and I can't remind people enough how lucky we are and how we're getting you at a very affordable rate right now. So thank you, sir.
Thank you, Danny. All set, man. Dude, thank you so much, man.
Good.